person was saying is that I have 65 people, but none of them know how to do the job. It's kind of difficult for me to respond to that, right? So I turned around and asked him, say, what did you do? I said, what do you mean? He said, what did you do? You have 65 people who doesn't know how to do the job. Why do I need to pay 65 people? I might as well pay you extra. He was like stunned. So I told the guy like this, if your presence is much more critical to be in the office, then I best that you go back to the office. But what I'll do is that if you decide this, I have to inform your boss. So I will write in that email, says that I have to let you go because you have 65 people working for you, have no idea what they're working on. So I said, are you going to say that? Says, I'm going to say that. So I said, you know what? You think about it. By tea break, let me know whether you are staying or you're leaving. So by tea break, I asked, so what's your decision? You're staying or you're going? I'm saying, if you decided to stay and I expect this. So I lay down my expectation.
Welcome to the Voices of Impact, the podcast where we go beyond the slides, beyond the workshops, and into the real stories of people shaping learning, leadership, and transformation. Hi, my name is Hamid.
And my name is Nadir.
Our today's guest is a seasoned trainer, consultant, and a coach with over 2 decades of experience partnering with leaders and HR decision makers across continents. She has extensive experience in leading complex change initiatives and helping organizations navigate through talent development, performance management, and succession planning. Please join me to welcome Shafina. Welcome to the show, Shafina.
Thank you.
Today, most people, they know you as an experienced trainer when it comes to talent development and performance management. I was just wondering, being in the industry for 20 years, how did this journey actually start? Where did you get started?
I started a very long time ago. My background is a little bit unique. I've done, my diploma is hotel management. And then I decided that, in organization, mainly that you can bring in anyone inside the organization. But the real most important part is how do you mold them to help company grow? Yeah. So that pushed me into human resource management. Mm-hmm. So I took my degree in human resource management. Along the process, I decided the biggest change should come from learning and development. So that was the reason why I decided to move into learning and development. So of course, there's other experiences that comes to that. But that was the beginning of that. Mm-hmm. And fast forward from the moment I started off and I started to realize that there's more things that goes into helping and growing people.
Talking about sharing story, well, as you've been in industry for 20 plus years, what is the most significant thing that has changed in training industry?
Okay, so if you look from the old days, learning and development are always been seen as a training itself. Like people attend a program, and then sometimes it even look at the completing a checklist. Yeah, companies decided to have, let's say, 40 hours a day, a year for people. So it's mainly just making sure people attend the program. But fast forward, people start to realize that training itself are not going to be enough, because when you attend a program, training is purely just imparting knowledge. And people start to look into how else we can ensure that the learning is being applied. So a lot of the program today are looking into how do we tag the learning and development into helping the peoples to grow, helping peoples to close their gap, competency gaps. Then also how does attending a program or training and what kind of development intervention has to be given to the person to help them also close their performance gap. So that helped to navigate the training and development into a different level altogether. We'll talk more about how does it leads to a better people that we wanted to hire. How do we get people to be moving into one levels to another? So there are so many things inside that. So today, when we talk about previously, people use training and development, and all come to attending a training. But today, there's a different thing when we call training. There's a thing called development. And people are now exploring more in terms of development instead of just sending people for training.
I see. So it has become more about development than originally, or in the past, it was training.
Right? You still have to add, the training is still training. Again, when we talk about the program, I mean, we look into everywhere that we talk about, it's all started, how do we impart the knowledge? The issues that people are facing in the organization previously is like training is one, is when we say attending a program, that's all people know. And every time that is non-compliance, people ask, have you attended the training? Then there is a question when we start to send people for program training here and training there, then the question that we got back is always that, how come it's not effective? I send people for training, but why they come back, I don't see any changes. So this the part where after post training program, that's the one that people are not putting a lot of effort into. And in many organizations, when we speak to the people, whether it is, of course, a non-HR people, and when we ask who is this responsible for people development, and it always goes back to HR. But the point is that we are not the only one who is responsible to the employee development. Yeah. So that's mainly when we see the changes that's coming in today.
I see.
Talking about training, evolving, and becoming more of a talent development, you have your own unique experience of not just working with multiple organizations, you have worked in multiple continents like Middle East, Europe, and even Central Asia, where I'm originally from. I'm just curious, how did that experience influence your views?
It's a very interesting question. When one of the most important part is exposure. Yeah, as different, although that I travel around to different continent, it seems that it comes to people learning agility. It's similar. Everyone that in any organization or anywhere, yeah, people want us to grow. People want us to push their potential. The in terms of delivering or learning part of it, the differences between one continent to another, the difference is just how the story that we needs to bring in. For example, let's say for in Asia, we know that, I mean, when I was running the program in Asia, Malaysia, China, and Singapore, all these countries here, the way that people respond to the facilitators, and the way that the approach that we have to put into place is a little bit different, more or less because of in this group, in this Asia, there are always going to be, let's say, respect. I mean to say that as you are standing in the front there, then it's not uncommon for people to keep quiet and observe before we actually feel comfortable enough to ask question. There's a lot of part where people need to feel safe by that they can ask any question, and how that I interact with them is very important as well. Then when we move to, let's say, Middle East and whatnot, there's also a different way of dealing with the people over there. One is I need to acknowledge that in Middle East, in certain part of the countries, Middle East, Algeria, and whatnot, so it's kind of they are people are more comfortable when there is male leading the conversation. So there is a learning ground for me as well because of over here when I'm in Malaysia, we don't have that situation. But moving into that area, there is also a part where how do I remain how do I remain professional when people are not really responsive due to because of different one is different we call it culture. That's one thing. And for me as well, to how do I quickly adapt to the
Adapt,
culture
yeah.
so that I can actually engage with them. And I only have a very short window to ensure that I kind of make sure that I am grounded, not influenced by how they act and how they perceive at that moment. So moving to a different continent as well. Then when we have a lot of Westerners, I mean, they are more vocal, more open. So I have to be prepared as well with a direct question. So that's helped me to also again be more agile and learn how to adapt quickly as well as we move into one continent to another. That's then again the same way as well when I am dealing with a different generation as well. I have run a program where we have the fresh graduates versus the one that regional presidents and whatnot. So how do I move from handling the regional president, the question that they ask, versus the people which is in fresh credit, how did it entails as well? So all in all, basically the way that I view my experience, I see people can say that is priceless. It's hard to put into box. What was the interesting? How does it change my perception? How I look into that is that when it comes to learning and development, it cut across when we talk about culture, it cut across different races, it cut across different religions. So people are just people. As long as they hunger to learn, then I am ready to be with them. Yeah, and as long as they are willing to accept me and willing to learn, then we work together to help them grow in whichever places that they wanted to be.
Wonderful. That's very insightful and nice to hear. Not everyone experiences dealing with organizations of different cultures and from different parts of the world, and that is definitely something really valuable for someone of your caliber to carry with into every workshop that you step into. We love to hear more about that perhaps later on. I was just wondering while you were explaining your experience of dealing with all sorts of cultures and so on, was there any particular workshop that you remember more than others? And why is that?
For whatever reason, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a very interesting question though, because there's so many programs that I've run. But there's one particular program that is really interesting. And this is the program that, these scenarios, I use that as an example in my other program that I run, specifically when we talk about leadership. So this particular person, the program was in Algeria, a place called Hasima Sound. So this is one of the place where my previous organization have an office there. So it's like an offsite. Is for the oil and gas people and people that come to that area, rig managers and so on and so forth. So for this program is 5 days and covered and covered several modules. Situational leadership. We talk about behavioral profiling and then motivation and teamworks, and then at the end of it is mainly looking into conflict resolution and whatnots. But the ultimate goal for that program is to help these people that attend the program to learn about how to lead, how to manage their people. So for this particular session, I think this is my, if I remember correctly, this is my second time in that location. And so on that first day, we normally start with a module called situational leadership. So we talk about how do you lead different using a different more leadership style. So this particular person, he keep on going. We have a discussion and then he run out and then he come back in and then disrupt whatever the discussion they have. So and then I leave it for a while and then lunchtime I asked this person. Because I wanted to know, because we are very close to the rig here. So we just wanted to find out because if any emergency that is happening. So I asked that person, so what was the situation? I see you moving, going in and out quite a number of time. So the person was saying is that, I have 65 people, but none of them know how to do the job. So it's kind of difficult for me to respond to that, right? But I just asked, so you have 65 people working for you, none of them know how to do the job. Is that right? Yes, he said, yes, that's right. I have 65 people, none of them know how to do the job. So I turned around and asked him, say, what did you do? I said, what do you mean? He said, what did you do? You have 65 people who doesn't know how to do the job. Why do I need to pay 65 people? I might as well pay you extra. So he was like stunned. So I told the guy like this, if you need to be in the office, if your presence is much more critical to be in the office, then by all means, then I best that you go back to the office. But what I'll do is that if you decided so, then I will write to. I have to inform your boss. So I will write in that email says that I have to let you go because you have 65 people working for you, have no idea what they're working on. So I said, are you going to say that? Says, I'm going to say that. So I said, you know what? You think about it. By tea break, let me know whether you are staying or you're leaving. So by tea break, I asked, so what's your decision? You're staying or you're going? So I said, oh, I'm staying. But you say there's no one know how to do the job. Oh, I delegated. Oh, you have somebody who know how to do the job. So I said, okay. So I said that, if you decided to stay and I expect this. So I laid down my expectation. Yeah. So then, subsequent this other 4 days, he remembered that he decided to stay on and participate fully.
Wonderful.
So it's very difficult because of it is. I travel alone to all these places. Yeah. So for me, a female to kind of make that stance in the room full of 24 male. So it's not easy. Yeah, it's not easy. So, but that was a very interesting. So I use that story when I talk about delegation when the leaders inside my class complaining and whatnot. So I said, I have a story I want to tell you. So I said, now you tell me whether is that the people fault or your fault. So that was like a normal scenario that we have. It was a very interesting one of my interesting stories that I have.
Yeah, that definitely is, especially if you're trying to make a make a point, showing that you do walk the talk when it comes to leadership topic. That is excellent example, I would say. Amazing, very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talking about that one particular story, all right, relating to my next question. This person was, you could see, is in a way was totally disengaged in a way, right? It was just physically there, but not mentally there. But one of the, the common feedbacks that we get about your training after we do the training is Shafina is highly engaging, right? This is one of the most common feedback that we receive, right? So, but I want to know, what is your recipe for keeping people engaged?
One of it is to keep my energy level is high. Yeah. So I have this concept. It's like if I'm running program like back to back for several days. So from the beginning, when I was running a program around the world, I have to battle with, the jet lag. Because at a certain point that I have to travel, change several plane before I arrive to certain places, and then you have that time difference like crazy.
Yeah.
So what most important in a classroom is my energy has to surpass
The crowd's energy.
Yeah, the crowd energy, right? So even though that they come to the class, some of them I can really see in their face that why do I need to be in the class? So if my energy is low, so and they already energy is halfway, and it's not going to be good. The other thing as well that I design my program to be more activity based. Sometimes there's either engaging question that then share stories, or whether that activities that they actually do it is kind of not really theory based. It's more a lot more on skill practices. So once they I noticed that once people use their own stories and then or something case study which is similar to their industry, they have more appreciation about that whatever that we talk about onto that. So that help keep the energy level to a certain level, so that and then the people within the team itself are helping me to manage the energy level as well. So that helped me not to kind of drain my energy, because once they start to go downhill, they extract my energy level. So I have to borrow my energy on the next day to top up on this day. So that was like the way that psychological, that's what I'm doing all the time. And then so that helped to certain extent. Yeah, of course, when the topic are very very challenging, controversial, so you then there's a different way of managing that situation as well. Okay.
And Shafina, if like let's say you deliver a workshop, I'm sure looking back at that workshop, you will give it some kind of a score. Was it a good workshop, great workshop, amazing workshop? What defines that? What is the criteria to be successful workshop?
That was a very challenging question.
So are you already borrowing some energy from the next day?
Okay.
You're not there yet, right?
Not there yet. Not there. I'm good. I'm good. Okay.
Okay.
So, of course, I mean, every time after any program that I've done, I kind of have that feel, so whether it is a not so or so workshop or whatnot. But one of the things that I kind of feel, wow, yeah, it is when that you can see this engagement, and then sometimes that the way that people share their question, or they are willing to not challenge. There's certain question that participant asked. It goes between curiosity or challenging. Challenging is two-way. Challenging in a sense that if there are question that challenging your credibility, I would say that meaning I've not done a good job. But it's a question is challenging in a sense that I want to know more. I wanted to pick your brain. So that helped me to feel that okay, they are looking into that from a different perspective. Okay, so I'm just gonna share about the story. How do I gauge that? So one of the things that that I use as a benchmark as well, apart from the questioning technique, the questioning part where they have in the class, sometimes when I run a certain session, so they use it after like tea break. They start to use certain words, like for example, when I use the conflict is much more easier. Yeah. So if let's say that when they go out and then somebody start to question certain thing, oh, you're using competing, it's not right, so we need to collaborate. So for me, it's that when people start using certain words from the program itself, whether it's as a joke or whatnot, meaning to say that that information is already in their mind.
Yeah, sunk in.
So sunk in, and then I can hear that, and then as they were having a conversation, and they start using it as a joke, so I take it that I'm good. Yeah, it's good. So of course, as we run a program, it would be fantastic if the 100% of what I've shared is being taken on board and applied. Again, these are human beings. Yeah, they are, of course, over the 100%. They probably some of the things that resonate with them. Some of the things it takes time for them to also put it into practice and whatnot. So for me, when I come back to the question is, how do I get successful is from that perspective. One is in the class, how they respond to the activities. One second is the question that they asked is more about how do I do this, how to apply this, instead of why that you choose this instead of that. Yeah. So and then third is when they start to use certain words, certain concept in their in off program, like off program in the sense that when they goes out for break during lunchtime, then if they can,
Casual.
yes, a casual, meaning to say that they see some relevancy in those topics into your daily activities. So that's the one most important part for me as well.
Okay, great.
Nice, interesting way of gauging your, success level of your workshop. And also interesting, what I noticed is that you judge the level of your success level of your workshop based on, one of the things that you judge is based on how they ask questions. One is, are they asking questions because they want to know more, or are they asking questions to challenge you?
Yes, it's not uncommon as well.
Very nicely put. And talking about challenges, is that one of the biggest challenges organizations face is succession planning, and which happens to be your area of expertise. In your view, why is succession planning so important?
If you look into from the, I'm going to use the time during COVID. Yeah, during COVID, that is a very perfect examples why the succession planning is critical. It was, I mean, this buzzword succession planning, talent management. People have done it for many many years ago, but people heard it's known as high potential. Yeah, so high potential is being in the not the market. Organization practice that. They only like I think 15 years back, then people start to use the words called talent management, succession planning, those buzzword during that time. But what the most important part is during the COVID time, that is we can see that during COVID there's so many changes. At the same part as well, people are getting sick. Then companies are losing their key people, their top management, that people who are very they are considered a critical position, people that the one that hold the company together. So then certain company collapse because of without these people, then the company unable to function. And because of all the while, everybody was thinking it's okay, we have time, or there's no need for us to actually grow develop another people to take over the job and whatnot. So when COVID happened, then there's no one else can fill in that spot. So position remain void. And that's affected the integrity of the organization, made investors nervous and shareholders nervous as well. So post COVID, I start to see a surge of requests for talent management succession planning. So there are companies now, because COVID took away about 2 years, yeah. So then before COVID, there are many top management are thinking that we still have time. People are only about 50, 53. So it was 7 years to go. So after COVID, that a lot of the top management left only about 4 to 5 years before they retired. So there are many now that because the experience in during COVID, then a lot of organizations now are very nervous. Not the organization itself, but the shareholders, the investors, the board of directors are getting nervous because of who's the next layer. Investors are nervous. Say, how do I make sure that you have the right people to take care of my investment? Shareholders are concerned. So because if they say that you don't have the right people at the right position, and they are not ready for that position, then my share, the one that I purchase, it might not give me a better yield. the other board of directors also concerned as well. So these are the push factors. So then now becoming, let's say, they call it maybe succession planning, backup, whichever it is. But the concept is now, for all the top management, people start to think we need to have another layer. Then we start to have a conversation. A lot of time people think about just a backup, someone to replace, whenever that I am not here or whatever not. The biggest challenge for that is that it's not just replace the other person. So the difference is mainly if I replace, it's just whoever is available I put inside that. But and I can just buy talent from outside. Succession planning take times, and that's the issues that company are facing at the moment. Do we have time to develop our people, and do we have time to make sure that they are ready for that position? Okay, so that was the question that people are asking. And we can see that many organizations today, even it is the smallest organization, are also start to think about who's next in the line. I've done program for family-owned businesses. I have participants who came to my program, a very small organization, also start talking about this succession planning, which is previously is not something that they would like to consider. Of course, the other organization is when the HQ, a parent company, start to question that, and they are preparing their people now to, if they see that you don't have anybody ready, we're going to bring in our people down here. So it is becoming like, it's become much more important and critical now for the company to have a successor for certain position. Yeah.
Is it only for certain positions, or even like middle management or lower level of management would require this as well? Because as a training provider, we have received quite a number of requests by some of the well-known organizations, as they have been developing their management training programs, where while they have programs for their existing employees who are at higher level to qualify as a successor, they were also planning long-term plans for developing their next generation of leaders from basically fresh intakes.
Okay, we talk about management training. There are a lot of organizations are also doing that. Part of it because of the push from the government, wanted to create that pockets of opportunity. So of course, they from a certain organization, they handpick these people to go through that management processes. One great things about we said that the future leaders have to understand the business. So as management trainee, they move throughout the organization, move understanding from the beginning. They understand about the business as a whole, the process to it. So as they move up the career ladder, they have a better perspective of what the company needed, and they are more aligned towards creating a better leader in the organization. So again, coming back to the question, do we do pockets in succession planning, or do we need to look at the organization as a holistic? From my experience, we've done pockets previously, and we start to get stuck when, let's say, I have to move one and then I don't know where's the other person, so it is fail, natural death. Yeah. So then we start to look into, so after so many other ways that we look into succession planning, then for me that it has to look from in totality, meaning to say that in succession planning, you just cannot look at only one level. You have to look into the how do we move people. If it cannot goes up, then is there any other way that we that the company can appreciate these people? How do we allow them to grow? In what way? So it has to be looking from in totality. Then to ensures that every layer have another. We might not call that successor, but we wanted to make sure that for every position, if let's say that person move, somebody can move up into that position. So in other words, that when it comes to succession planning in totality are looking into how we created a future ready organization. So the talent are ready to move up at any one time when there is an opportunity. Okay, so instead of we have to wait until that position is available, so we don't have time because the current world is a very fast. So if you are not ready today, your leaders are not ready today, then you already lost certain opportunity.
Quite interesting, Shafina. And let's say if an organization which at this point of time they haven't yet started putting together a succession plan, they want to get started. What are the three things that they should bear in mind before they get started?
This is a normal question. I mean, when I run a
FAQ.
program, talent management succession planning, I have a company who like we are about to start. So I said, okay, let's look into because succession planning is a final stage in what we call human resource perspective. Yeah, so succession planning is like the ultimate. So you started from the beginning because succession planning for me to identify a successor, normally the most data driven is will be performance management. So if let's say that the first thing that I said to the people, if you wanted to identify a successor, first you need to have first important part is your performance management. Is your performance management structures and framework and processes is correct? Okay, it's solid. So I could say that because every time that we wanted to choose somebody, we go back to performance. So if let's say they are not being assessed properly or accurately, then you will not have the right people at the right position. Second is that competencies. I said that how can we assess somebody whether they are ready or not for that position when we don't have a very clear list of competencies that the person must have in this position for them and then for this position. So succession planning is always about developing people from these levels to the next level. So I said that to them, first stop when you wanted to do succession planning is great. First, look at your performance management first. It has to be solid. Second is that the competency. Do you have the right competency? Did the company has a structured competency that measure what knowledge and skill each level needed so that we can then help them to grow into that position. Hence, we talk about whether they are ready or not. Third is usually about that as people move from one levels to another, there will be what we call a transition phase from someone who probably never lead, have not lead any team to then move up into leading a team. It's not plug and play, which is people say as long as you've been in an organization, you should be able to do so. You can't. It's different thing. Managing equipment versus managing people is two different worlds altogether. So when the problem with succession planning is what you yes we identify all those we call that checklist, yeah?
Checklist, yeah.
But whether that person is ready to lead people or lead the business is a different thing. So the most important part is when it comes to the third one we got talk about it is how do we create that smooth transition from someone who are not leading to someone who actually people management. And then as a person who are now leading at the mid management, I'm now leading people and I am also making sure that people are doing what they're supposed to do. But I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned. I mean, I don't have the overview about the business itself. So as people move from mid management to senior management, there needs to be also be introduced or a transition phase from leading people to leading businesses, which is three different distinct skill altogether. So when we talk about succession planning, a lot of time why that these particular succession planning does not take off as per the plan is because we missed out this all three main main element, I call it main ingredient in making sure that succession planning move as what we want it to be.
Shafina, you've just mentioned three important ingredients just now that determine what successful succession planning is or should be. And one of the ingredients that you have mentioned is performance. Why is it important?
One of the things that in any organization, at the end of the day, the only way we can measure whether that person is performing or not is through performance management. We cannot put in someone in that position when that person is not performing. However, if let's say the performance management process or the framework itself, how we measure performance, what do we measure, it might not, it doesn't align with the organization. So when we put that person as, because the way that succession planning work is like this, the only data that I have is performance management. So normally the first cut is to identify whether that person is going to be in the talent pool or succession pool, is looking into their performance. So normally those that is rated high, so those are the people that we put into the pool. Yeah. So that if let's say the company does not have a standardized way of measuring people. So normally it goes by rating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whichever it is. But people needs to know that 5, how does it look like? 1, how does it look like? So once everything is standardized, so when we put somebody and says that these are the people who gonna be future leaders, so people at the bottom there know that if that person was put as a top talent or high potential,
future.
so then people doesn't have question anymore because people know that this person is performing at the level is expected. However, if let's say the performance management that the performance processes, the review and whatnot were done in the organization are mainly based on not really a structured one, then and a lot of biasness or whatnot goes into that. So when we put somebody as we said that okay, this person is our high potential, and the one thing that person might not have is respect from the others. Because people were saying that, yeah, of course you get the highest one because of your boss might be giving you rated high. So it's going to be a question on that. So the most important, that's the reason why I said that before we even embark into succession planning, you have to make sure that the way we assess or measure people are solid. Meaning to say, the type of maybe goal or target, or people use KPI, yeah, something that align to the organization, not something which is easy for that person to achieve. So when that happen, then only whenever that people presented, then at least people knows that yeah, this person is actually meet the target, and people have respect on that. At the same time, performance management. At the end of the day, the organization are also measured by their performance. So when a company, I would say that performance management actually it is important because it's measure the health and wealth of the organization. So how would you tell the head of department, or no, how do you tell the investor that you're doing well? The first question is, show me. So if
Yeah.
let's say you can't even identify what are you measuring, so the question is, what are you measuring? If let's say that they don't see that the company is progressing, but you are now saying that you are doing very well, it doesn't jive. So that was a reason why that performance management is extremely important, because that help people to see where they are. Second is when you want to reward somebody, you also based on the performance. You wanted to improve or give another position to another person or put it a person on the higher position. People look at it, is this person can or cannot do the job? Okay, so that's the reason why it's important.
Okay,
Interesting.
great. And I believe there has been a change over the past years in how performance management or performance review per se has evolved, right?
When we talk about evolution, it's not so much of changes so much, but it's just how things are being conducted. now. Previously, as I mentioned, on all the while, performance management, it's like it's always been known as another HR program. End of the year, we put it in. I mean, all of us has been working. We kind of know that when it comes to performance review phase, people know that their bosses don't even remember what they did, so they only remember the last 3 months. So the last 3 months before the performance review, everyone will be on a top in A game, we say that, yeah, because the boss only remember what's happened the last three months or whatnot. So for us, we say that, and that is been happening all the while. People doesn't see why that we need to do performance management when it doesn't seem to have any impact to anything, yeah. So then fast forward, we start to see that people start to, there's a lot of questions. So every time performance management, there's argument. We say that it's a battle, yeah? It's a battle. And it's always going to be that, it's always going to be like a ping pong. Like, the at the end of that, the head of department says that, okay, HR is the one who determine the performance or whatever, and HR was always going to go back. No, it's not us. Your managers is the one who decided, and so now what has changed, not so much of change, it's always going to be like that. It's now the companies start to enforce much more structured performance management process. Also, of course, with the help of a better system, a better awareness about why we do performance. And we have a lot of people, or the younger generation, start to question that as well. We have people keep on questioning, how do you measure? So then, of course, there's a lot of other things that comes in as well. So we start to hear about KPI, balance scorecard, KRA, OKR, so many things about that. So now what is the most important is that there are also company decided to move away from performance review, the annual one, because we said that it is more demotivating rather than motivating. So what put into place now, they said that if you have ongoing performance feedback, then people know that what they have done well, what they have done, what they need to repeat, and what are the area that they need to improve as they go along. So now, instead of the performance review, the end of year review is the ultimate. It become, let's say, that is just a summary of what happened throughout the year. So instead of performance management, the review is like a surprise. It's like,
Jang,
oh,
jang, jang.
yeah, I thought I did well, but I didn't know. So, but that, because the conversation become, so we're just going to review what happened for the whole year. So throughout the year, we have done this, and we have you have performed like this. We have made some correction like this, and this is the outcome. So the conversation is steered more towards that, rather than that the end of the year is like everybody have that black book, say, okay, this is in January, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so we also said that because of the system, there are also new system that goes in. People are a lot of the new HR system has performance management embedded into that. They start to have that process where people can go in and update their progress. So it is more on that level. So it's no longer, let's say, a secret, but it's more on transparency. So it's not something which is new, but it's just that now is more the governance of it is become much more better.
Ooh, okay. One last question, Shafina. Okay. What new competencies must HR and L&D professionals master to become future ready?
Right, I'm going to look into from two different perspectives. Yeah, for HR as a whole, because L&D, depending on the organization, it can be a separate entity. It can be part of the HR. So if I look from the HR portfolio, meaning to say that everything that works under HR, which is L&D, compensation benefits, and so on and so forth. So it says that for HR person, to be future ready, one is, of course, we talk about the AI and whatnot. So they have to be in the know because of things are moving so fast. They have to be the one of the people who gonna be more receptive to the changes. Second is, I think the most important part is there are so many things that is being changing in terms of the HR practices. We look into the legality part of it. There's so many things has been changing. Yeah. Second is people that come into the workforce are also different. So things cannot be done the same way. So they have to start to look into from a different perspective. The other thing that I would say that for the HR per se is no longer a silo. There's a thing called HR business partner, which is a common considered the buzzword that people are using.
Yeah.
But what we are saying that when it comes to if an HR wanted to become HR business partner, they have to understand the business they are in. What we noticed that, I mean, what many of us notice as we have a conversation with other HR people as well, the younger HR people, there are a lot of number of people that goes into this, but they don't understand the business. How can you be a partner when you don't understand the business? Yeah, and of course, other thing than that is things change management is critical because as we speak now, there's going to be some changes as we go through. From the L&D perspective, because of the people that the HR has their own, they're going to bring in the people in. But L&D is where we build the people. We identify what's how do we bring them from where they are to where we wanted them to be. So when HR hire the people now, it's no longer hiring for the present, it's hiring for the future. But who made that future happen is the L&D, the structures that we do. So they start to be also needs to be in tune with what is important, what kind of competency that is needed for the company to achieve the goal 3-4 years. I mean the business goal basically. They needs to be to understand that it's not about L&D. It's not about having them to learn things that for to do their job today, but they also need to think about as the company progress in 3 to 4 years, what kind of what type of talent a workforce do we need to prepare for the company to be able to achieve the goal that they wanted to see. So people need to see things from not from the one or from tunnel vision. They need to start to look into from the a broader perspective. Yeah. So there's so many other things that it goes in, but as I said that for HR and L&D, one most important part is continuous improvement, not on the process alone, but for themselves. Yeah. So if they are not, they have to increase their learning agility so they can learn and adapt as the thing progressed.
Just to summarize your answer, Shafina, so we in general, right, L&D professionals and HR leaders and us in general, we need to learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Shafina, for spending the time with us and explaining everything. It was a very insightful session, and we really had a great time. And for those who want to get in touch with you, what is your recommended way of getting in touch with you?
You can contact Connective Link.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Shafina.
For a
Yes.
starter.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're most
Thank you so
welcome.
much, Shafina. It
Thank
was
you.
nice having you here.
Thank you.